Okay, hi. My name is Sam Dotson. I'm talking about the dose effects of caffeine on lower body maximal strength, muscular endurance, and rating of perceived exertion in strength trained females. So, a little bit of background, we all know caffeine is a stimulant. It reduces the rate of perceived exertion, increases our motor unit recruitment, and enhances fat oxidation. It also works as a adenosine antagonist by binding to adenosine receptors, which prevents adenosine's parasympathetic effects, which is what contributes to the reduced RPE. Uh, it's thought to be beneficial, and experiments have been done on benefits of endurance and high intensity exercises, which is why this one is a little bit more strength train focused. And the range that they found, it was about 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, 30 to 60 minutes before exercising, is what provided those benefits for endurance and high intensity exercise. Now, there are conflicts on the effects between genders, muscle groups, and strength level, which is why we did a lower body workout this go around. Only 13% of previous studies included female subjects, and only one was controlled for the menstrual cycle. So, when they built this, they were looking at investigating the effects of pre exercise caffeine ingestion on lower body maximal strength and muscular endurance in strength trained females currently taking an oral contraception. So, they their hypothesis was that caffeine would reduce RPE during submaximal exercise. So we're working them up to a max, and then we are exercising them just below that. So like I think 60% is what we worked with, but we'll go over that in a second. They recruited 14 strength trained female volunteers. So they put up flyers at local gyms for this, and by strength trained they meant you're lifting 3 to 5 days a week, at least 6 months prior to signing up for this, and you also have to be using a hormonal oral contraception. So the way this worked was it was a double-blind, placebo-controlled counterbalance crossover style. I kind of broke it down for you here, but they used a placebo, and then the double-blind is researchers and participants didn't know who was getting what, and then the counterbalance crossover style was that everyone receives both, but it's in a varied order. So they had 4 visits, 3 days apart. The first day they did their max testing, and the other 3 days was the actual experiment portion. Beforehand, they were asked not to exercise about 24 hours prior, don't have caffeine 12 hours prior, and a 2 hour fast before the visits. Testing was done all 3 days between the hours of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and their time slot was the same every single day that they came in. So if they came in at 8:30 a.m. one day, they came in at 8:30 a.m. every single day. They did not change their diet, just ate healthy foods. So first day was the familiarization day. We did 10-minute warm-up, 5-minute cross-training, get your whole body moving, 5 minutes, get the lower body going. And then we did squats, and we did one set of 12 to 15 reps, one set of 5, one set of 3, and then continued to do 1 reps until failure. And they then lowered the weight to 60% of the 1 rep max and did that until failure as well. On the experiment days, we did one set of 12 to 15 at 50% of the previously recorded 1 rep max, and then increased until failure, gave them 5 minutes, did reps until failure at 60%, and recorded the rate of perceived exertion after 5 reps. Okay, what we found. So the 1 rep max, the reason why they did the 12 on the experiment days, the 12 to 15 at 50%, and then increase until failure was to test muscular endurance. And then at 60%, recording RPE every 5 reps was to test strength. So on the 1 rep max, on your left, you'll see there was no significant difference was found between the caffeine and the placebo. The p-value was 0.731. I include a little diagram here. It has the 1 rep max on the left and the placebo, the 3 milligrams a kilogram per body weight of caffeine, and then the 6. And all those dots represent like how much they were able to lift building up to that 1 rep max. And then you have, excuse me, my cats. Then you have muscular endurance, which significantly improved. There was a p-value of 0.010. Improves the reps completed with the caffeine dose. So your 3 milligrams per kilogram, your p-value was 0.014, and your 6 milligrams per kilogram, it was 0.036. So those are both significant values. And as you can see, they did 8 to 12 more reps with these caffeine doses. For the total weight, so how much they're lifting, the strength portion, caffeine significantly increased the total weight lifted with a p-value of 0.012. That's pretty solid. The RPE, caffeine might slightly reduce RPE, but findings were kind of inconsistent. So they said they only saw the statistical significance once they hit about 15 reps. So they did the 5 got RPE, 5 got RPE, and they really only got results once they hit the 15 reps. The importance of this experiment, there's a couple. There's a lack of research related to females, like I mentioned earlier in the beginning, where they said that it was really only males and they didn't have anything to do with like menstruation or birth control or anything of that sort. Caffeine can affect your body in different ways based on hormonal implications. So a previous meta-analysis stated that men show a higher muscular strength improvement than women, but the testing, they didn't have the right subjects. They weren't very specific on what they were testing. So but we did find that caffeine supplementation significantly improved muscular endurance and total weight lifted. And the second thing that we found was that muscular strength and RPE showed no improvement with supplementation. So, I mean, it kind of shows true that with like the placebo, obviously there's nothing that's going to come from it, but caffeine actually does have an effect, and it is improving their muscular endurance and how much they're lifting. In conclusion, this experiment was honestly kind of first of its kind. They previously didn't have any related to muscular strength for women, and they sure as heck did not have any related to women taking oral contraception at all. So it was first of its kind, exploring how hormonal birth control affects it as well. The use of this is common. I know a lot of people that strength train rely on caffeine throughout their day. I mean, speaking from experience, when I was really heavy into weightlifting, I would have like 2 or 3 energy drinks a day, right? So how can we help these athletes use it to their benefit instead of just kind of randomly supplementing? And we can use these obviously to better prepare athletes for situations relevant to their sport. So if that's weightlifting, we're helping them figure out, okay, we should be taking this much 30 minutes prior, or this much 60 minutes prior, or so on and so forth. But if we're going to be making these suggestions to people who are doing high intensity exercise, the suggestion might be different. So a couple things I would change is I would be interested to see the results in team athletes. So not necessarily all from the same team, because the odds of everyone on a team being on oral hormonal birth control is very slim, but taking people who are professional soccer players and meet the requirements, or professional basketball players and meet the requirements. I would experiment at different times of day. All of the experiments were ran between 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So taking a look at how that affected them maybe later at night. So let's say 3 to 7 p.m. I would be interested to see the difference. I would also be specific with menstruation timing. There are different phases in a cycle. So saying, okay, let's say you're 10 days into your cycle, I would be very interested to see the difference there.